Welcome to Cyberworld for 7th grade computer applications. Cyberspace is a very big place, and you must be aware of the many different roles you can play and the responsibilities you must shoulder as a member of the cyberworld. When we talk about the cyberworld, you will understand what it means to be a good cyber citizen and become informed about the moral principles we call cyber ethics. Can you imagine a time when computers did not exist? While computers are a vital part of today's society, there was a time not that long ago that computers were nothing more than an idea. The first machines that we would recognize as computers were built during World War II, but they weighed about 30 tons or more and could only be run by a team of engineers. During World War II, there were many kinds of specialized computers designed to use mechanical methods to make calculations. True airspeed calculators, firing tables, and dead reckoning computers were the most common examples. The picture on the screen right now is the Harvard Mark I, built by IBM according to the plans of Howard Aiken. And it wasn't until the 1970s that scientists and engineers began developing personal computers, which are machines small enough and advanced enough to be operated by just one person, leading to the laptops and tablets we see today. Our world has changed dramatically with the invention of computers. Digital or electronic media, which includes website, computer software, e-books, and MP3 files, play an important part in making today's culture so interconnected. We can accomplish many tasks from afar without having to physically be in each other's presence. Digital media also makes other tasks easier and make virtual spaces possible. Virtual spaces are places that do not exist in the real world but only online. According to the 2015 U.S. Census Bureau, nearly 78% of households have computers at home, and of those households, 77% have a broadband internet subscription. That is actually down from the 2002 Census Bureau, where of the people that had household computers, there was 98% at the time that had broadband internet subscriptions. And you can think about why that might be. For example, I do not have regular broadband internet service at my house. I use my hotspot on my phone, so I don't need that type of internet anymore. Digital media are part of what is called the cyber world, which is a term given to the modern world of computers, communications, and other digital technologies such as mobile devices. The term cyberspace is used to describe the online environment of the cyber world in which communications take place. Cyberspace is interactive, which makes it easy to connect with other people and the world as a whole. In fact, in cyberspace, we have 24-hour access 7 days a week to information, communication, and collaboration. The sheer size of the cyber world means that there is a lot of information online that is available to everyone. Before computers, when people wanted to access information, they had to seek out books at a library or visit an expert for advice. However, the cyber world makes it possible to do research online and acquire knowledge both quickly and efficiently. Now, over the past 40 years, the ways in which we communicate, interact, and connect with others have greatly expanded, while our digital devices have gotten smaller and more powerful. We must learn how to use new and emerging technologies, being both proficient in the use of new technologies and comfortable in the atmosphere of cyberspace, which is called cyber literacy. It includes understanding how technologies work, having the ability to use technologies to perform different tasks, and being able to critique technologies and how people use them. Cyber literacy includes the following abilities. First is knowing how to use software such as word processing programs to type a paper for school. Second would be doing research online to learn about a new topic. Third, understanding how technology can be used for entertainment, school, work, and personal use. 4, adapting to new technologies. And 5, keeping current on updates to existing technologies. One thing to keep in mind is that the size of the cyber world also means that the ways we live, think, and communicate are all changing. Think about how you benefit from using technology and how you can be harmed by it. The first pro to using technology is the quick access of information. People can access information quickly and efficiently. What used to take hours of research in a library can now be accomplished in minutes with an online search engine. The second pro is the ease of communication. People can communicate easily with friends and family online through emails, texts, and social media platforms such as Facebook. The third pro would be productivity. People can accomplish tasks and increase their productivity through the use of technology. Now, there are a few cons as well to using technology. The first one is the overuse of technology. People may spend too much time using their technology. Overuse can lead to spending less time participating in the real world, which can affect relationships and social interactions. The second con is social isolation. Increased online communication may create isolation from real-world friendships and face-to-face exchanges. And the final con is growing too dependent. There is the possibility of growing too dependent on technology, which can negatively influence the ability to think critically and solve problems by yourself. Every person is a citizen or a member of different groups, whether at school, at home, or in your own personal life. From staying safe to acting ethically, citizenship means participating in your world in a responsible way. When we embody good citizenship, we practice safe, ethical, and responsible decision making because we know that our actions can impact other members of the group of community. Just as we have responsibilities in the real world, we also have responsibilities in the cyber world. When you participate in the cyber world, you become a cyber citizen or a member of the global online community. Cyber citizenship is taking responsibility for your role in cyberspace and engaging in positive and ethical decision making to stay safe online. For many people today, maintaining positive cyber citizenship is a natural part of living in the digital age. This is because many people are digital natives, or people who were born after the invention of digital technology and have grown up using it. Digital natives are very familiar with digital technology and tend to understand it more thoroughly than people born before its invention. In the same way you understand how to correctly fulfill certain roles as a citizen of your personal communities, you must understand how to do the same as a cyber citizen. Now, cyber citizen responsibilities apply to everything you do online. So, real-world citizen responsibilities would be to listen and respond thoughtfully to others, be cooperative and kind, be open-minded and be willing to help others, follow the rules, communicate effectively, and respect others. Now, a cyber citizen responsibilities include to respect others, don't share private information, don't plagiarize. Now, plagiarize is when you steal information from the web and use it as your own. And then you also need to follow security measures. So online and in the real world, you need to have respect and you also need to take responsibility. Respect is when you are always courteous and respectful to others online, even as you would in real life. The age-old saying, treat others as you would like to be treated, is an important role to maintaining positive cyber citizenship. For example, if you wouldn't want someone to speak meanly to you or be hurtful, then you should also refrain from doing that, such as refraining from using mean language online. Responsibility is important because we need to take responsibility for one's own actions. Just as students would refrain from cheating on exams in a classroom, they should also refrain from plagiarizing another's work online, such as using someone's copyrighted photos that you would find online without getting permission first. A good rule of thumb is to behave in the cyber world in the same way you would in the real world. While respect and responsibility make up the core of a good cyber citizen, another important part of positive cyber citizenship is ethics, or the moral principles we follow as citizens. We use ethics to make choices every day, both online and offline. Cyber ethics are specific to the principles that drive our actions while using the internet, and they resemble many of the ethical guidelines we follow in the real world. So is it unethical to use software for which you have not paid? Is it unethical to steal personal information? How about looking through someone else's email or social media accounts? In both the real world and the cyber world, these actions are all unethical behaviors because they result in other people being hurt.